on shop time and then come out here to meet with me, please? Good morning, men. We're having a meeting in 5 minutes. I'm generally upstairs. I handle all the human resources and legal matters. Ow! Can you come on out so we can have a meeting?
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Today is a little bit different because Greg is not in the shop and Dave and Jan are not in. It's 2 seconds. I need to get everybody organized. When that happens, I kind of just step up and take care of what needs to be done. Showtime! Johnny, if you can jump on the caddy. I like to get the questions, concerns, problems out of the way early in the morning so I know what dragons I'm slaying through the day. Dan, does he need any parts for the Lincoln? Yeah. Have you done a parts request? Scotty, are you waiting on something for the Maserati? Did you do an assessment?
Yeah, you'd have to say that Jennifer is the shop mom.
Ronnie, any parts you need? You're good to go.
I don't think I'd want a mother like that.
So everybody's good? Okay, thank you, men.
Some of the guys are scared to death of her.
I don't want any downtime. We've got a car leaving today, so we need to get that under control.
Well, this 63 Corvette we're working on here, it's been modified, turned into a real hot rod. It's got fiberglass fender flares on it, great big wide tires. It's a big 454 cubic inch engine. So it's quite a beast, this car. So this car had a 6-speed transmission in it, and it was in need of a repair. Instead of repairing that 6-speed transmission, the customer wanted just to put a new 5-speed in it. So that's what we went ahead and done. So now it's a completely different style of transmission. Okay, I've got a couple pieces off the transmission tunnel here. I have to refiberglass them back in place. And they're gonna go right in here. This is where I had to cut them out because the other transmission, the gear shift, was sitting down in there and I couldn't get the bolts out to remove the shifter. So I have to put these pieces back in. There's the fiberglass cloth. It's sticky stuff. So the main challenge with fiberglass is messy. So a little bit of this, a couple drops of this, mix it up. It's sticky, you gotta wear rubber gloves. You don't want it on your skin because you're not getting it off. It's messy, that's all. Very messy. Here's some fiberglass that I mixed up the last time, so it hardens up. Solid. It's my artwork. Anybody got a little paintbrush? Well, the fiberglass work is very rare. 12 drops. No, the only car I know is a fiberglass production car is pretty well a Corvette. Cut some fiberglass strips. Here's a resin and a hardener. You mix a couple of drops of hardener in with the resin, mix it up, and put in lots. I want it to set up quick. I'm gonna put a little more even. Okay, here we go. Just lay it in place and cover it with the fiberglass resin, which hardens and creates a strong repair. Just like paper mache. That's it, just wait for it to dry.
One of the reasons I came to France today was to visit an old friend. Andrew Crisford has an estate down here, and we're going to go and see a couple of the cars that he's got. We wandered around a bit lost before we got to Andrew's estate, because it's literally in the middle of nowhere.
Just a beautiful place. Shrubs are shaped and curved.
Yeah. We saw Andrew on the side of this immense stone wall, and there he was. I didn't realize I hadn't seen him for 20 years. Well, I remember you said that you wanted to move down here so that you could drive the Bugatti, because...
Yes. Well, the roads in this part of France are ideally suited to vintage and performance cars.
Andrew led us into this dark warehouse. And this absolutely beautiful Césaire, a French-English car that's just beautiful.
Started before the First World War by the Césaire brothers, who were very successful at voiturette racing and tried to produce a car which would rival the Rolls-Royce Silver Ghost. And this is the result.
They were chasing down Rolls-Royce. They wanted to build a car that was the superior of Rolls-Royce. Before Rolls-Royce had really carved a niche that was unassailable. And this car is absolutely stunning, very advanced for its time.
Its instrumentation is unlike any other car of the period and considerably better than even the Silver Ghost.
Oh.
The instruments are backlit so that they can easily be read in the dark. It was a very sophisticated car, beautifully built, but far too heavy for its
For the engine.
4.5 litre four-cylinder engine.
It is too heavy a car for the amount of power that it has from the engine, so it was a little bit of a slug to drive.
Number 1, turn the master switch key clockwise.
So I'm going to turn the master switch on. Done.
Number 2, turn the petrol pumps on.
Petrol pump.
Starting one of these old cars is rather like going through the checklist of an aircraft.
Number 3, set the ignition control to the letter D on retard.
Done.
Tony Reagan is Andrew's engineer. Andrew's got it down to a fine art because he sits there and the checklist, just like a co-pilot, is read to him by Tony so that he goes through and doesn't forget anything.
Set the hand throttle to closed.
Right. There are controls which have to be set in exact preset positions.
Turn the ignition on by turning switch 180 degrees until the ignition reads right way up and the switch is out.
All of these settings have to be correct, otherwise the car simply won't start.
Yeah, there's smoke coming from out under the bonnet.
Smoke coming from everywhere.
Yeah.
There's one thing we forgot. Check the car is not in gear.
It's got rhythm. She's not feeling well.
A little bit of a tragedy. They fired it up.
Nah, it's got a cylinder missing.
It just fired up on 2 cylinders.
Oh, that's a shame. It doesn't get used much?
2 of the valves have stuck up, so they're not making contact, they're just open.
Seems happy enough running on 2 cylinders.
There was no moving them. The whole head's gonna come off the car and probably put new valve guides in.
I guess maybe we should shut it down.
So 2 cylinders, we're not gonna go out touring in it today.
That's annoying.
I think it needs more exercise.
Yes,
Don't we all?
like the owner, yeah.
Nothing fits. It's all cobbled up.
One of the things that makes it so dangerous is the steering.
What could go wrong?
Nothing.
Yeah.
Or everything.
I say the problem with this thing is it's been modified before. Well, this 63 Corvette has been modified heavily, and the people working on it over the years have done all kinds of strange things to it. Now, this mount here isn't supposed to be here. The factory mount is supposed to be over here, which is cut off. Some of the factory brackets for the rear transmission mount have been hacked off it. You can see another piece cut off here, too. Every part of this car has been touched somehow. Nothing fits. It's all cobbled up completely. But I guess I'm better off just to cut this off and make up a new mount here. But it's a pain to do that in the shop here because I've got the Cadillac right here and sparks and... Alrighty. That's where we had the face shield on. Let's see how that will work now. Good. It'll work. I just have to make a mount for here. And it looks like 3/16. I'll probably have a piece of scrap 3/16 there that I can bend. Whoa, whoa. I'm gonna take something like that. 9/32. Pieces. I'm trying to figure something flat that I could actually take a measurement of. Let's put it here. 3/32, that hood panel. Yeah, we better not cut a chunk out of that, though. Yeah, I found a piece I'm gonna use. I'll just clean that up, drill a hole in it, and weld it on. Well, it's hard to work in the showroom here because I've got the 57 Cadillac Brougham beside me with a fancy candy apple paint job. You know, you don't want to damage anything, cause a problem with the paint. Dave would kill me. I could drag down a great big welding screen, but it would take me half an hour to drag it up and drag it back. So for what I'm doing, this is good. Okay. So the bracket here now will fit on here like this. So yep, fits perfect. Looks great, it'll do the job. Yep, everything's in now. It's pretty well ready to go.
Did you make this?
No,
Andrew Crisford has this very eccentric little cycle car.
it was made in 1914 by a man called Harold Dew. And he claimed to have invented the cycle car concept. It hadn't run since possibly before the last war. It was stored in a garage in England, and I bought it. I can't now remember why I bought it.
It is charming. Oh, look at that.
There is something about it which appealed to me.
You know, cycle cars were eccentric. They were basically made simply because people couldn't afford real cars. They were tiny. Some of them actually used bicycle wheels on them.
One of the things that makes it so dangerous is the steering.
Tony's going to give it a shot at firing it up and taking it for a drive. Andrew thinks Tony is quite brave for driving it. Looking at it, I can understand why.
So among the number of things that make it such a dangerous contraption is the near absence of brakes, the impossibility of changing gear requiring the driver's full concentration, and the rudimentary steering system.
What could go wrong?
Nothing.
Yeah.
Or everything. What do you think about starting it?
Oh, this week?
That's the only thing I don't miss about old cars.
It's starting them.
Yeah. It actually fired up beautifully. And he jumped on board, and it actually moved off rather smartly. He's going to get dizzy. And watching it going around and around and around in circles was rather amusing. There's bits flopping up and down, and the whole thing is shaking. And he says every time he drives it, he needs dental work.
It's just a very, very primitive vehicle. That it works at all is nothing short of a miracle.
He's having fun.
Cycle cars were made with very simple little engines. They were made to be affordable, but they were still being hand-built. We're not talking about factories producing these things. We're talking about garages building these things. And that was how the industry in Britain especially, and in the United States, got going. You know, I had an absolutely delightful afternoon with Andrew. It was wonderful seeing such an old friend, and yeah, it's a little sad leaving, but yeah, we've got to move on to other things down here.
It's a good, strong car.
He's gone.
I think the battery.
Oh, there seems to be a technical hitch.
Oh, some much romantic situation.
Janice and I are driving to Chabanais, which is about an hour outside of Angoulême. We've heard about a collector, Yvan Levelade, who loves restoring old buses, mainly from the 30s to the 50s, and mostly Citroën. Fittingly, his collection is stored in an old taxi and bus garage. This is a man after my own heart. Look at this. Yvan? Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
David from Canada.
I am David from Canada. Yeah, good guess. And
Where's
this is
Jenny?
Janice.
Hello.
Ah, beautiful.
Yes.
Beautiful. These are amazing. All of them are yours?
Yes, it's my collection, yes.
Wow, it's impressive.
I collect buses because buses are really into the history of the vehicles.
Wow.
It's like you cross with a time machine. You can imagine you are in the 50 years in the incredible garage. When I look at the bus, I see women and men in the 30 years with baggages, and they go to the theater, they go in the big restaurant. It's really a time machine.
Oh, buses and a hearse.
This is
I
gorgeous.
like the same, man.
That's a big hearse. I mean, the ornamentation is amazing.
Yeah. In the year 1952.
In North America, most hearses are Cadillacs or Lincolns. But in Europe, well, a lot of them are Citroëns, and this is a Citroën U23 Corvette.
And the family is here. 4 until 5 places.
Originally, these were Type 23s. After the war, they changed it to U23, basically standing for utility. Yvon is quite an expert. He's actually written a book about the history of these vehicles.
The design of the front is like Plymouth 1939. A lot of people say me, why do you have a hearse? It's not very funny. I think this machine is alive.
It's alive.
Yeah. The form of the body, aerodynamic and baroque, that is for me interesting. Do you want to enter into
Yes,
the time machine?
I want to enter. Wow, look at this.
Yes.
I think the battery.
We gave you a problem.
Jan's right in
We
there.
gave you a problem.
Sleeves rolled up. You know, no matter what country you're in, well, car issues are car issues.
Our battery's dead.
Yeah. You know, it couldn't be more fitting than to have a dead battery in a hearse.
Oh, so much romantic situation.
Well, I have a romantic situation in a hearse.
Yes. And start.
Nice.
Oh, look at this thing. It's great.
And the coffin.
Wonderful piece of-
Oh, you have a coffin.
Yeah.
Oh, you're strong.
It's a bit tighter than the last coffin I was in, but, you know, you could get used to it. I have a 47 Delahaye. It looks different than this. Honestly, if this was restored, I'd rather have this one. This bus is really dramatic. Look at the way this sweeps around on the line. What is it?
This is a Citroën U45 from 1939.
Oh my, that's a big engine.
This bus was used until 1975.
Jeez. After you.
All aboard. Oh, wow. Look at this. Look at, oh my gosh, look at the leather.
I like this. You had passengers sitting beside you as the driver.
Wow.
Oh. That's pretty good. Do you drive this much?
Yeah.
So it's got its original placards. This is cool. 20 places to stand, 25 places to sit. No smoking, no spitting, and absolutely forbidden to speak to the driver. So nobody can speak to you if you were the chauffeur.
Right.
Yeah, I love this.
Wow, what a great piece of history.
I hate to ask you this, but is there any way you can take us for a ride in one of these?
Yes.
You have
We will drive.
You have a bus we
Yeah.
can use?
The one
Yeah,
I
we
bet is-
can use, for example, this 1957 U23 carrosserie Alquier in south of France.
Beautiful.
It's aluminium body.
Okay.
Oh, this is nice. Oh, you know what? I could start liking buses a lot. We discovered that Yvon was an engineer in Grenoble for most of his life before returning to his hometown of Charente. Now he restores buses and he uses this one mainly for events and for doing films. Still gets around down the road pretty smartly. So what do you like better, the bus or the hearse?
I think I like the bus
Do you?
because we can go places. In the hearse, there's only one place we're going.
That's true. Countryside here is beautiful. What a great way to see it. Yvon took us down the road to an old vineyard with a couple of sheds in it. I sensed some antique vehicles in the offings to show us the rest of his collection.
Off the bus?
Off the bus.
Oh my, look at this.
Oh, yeah. Oh, look at that.
Is it a fire truck?
A bit of one. It's missing some bits.
This is the Delahaye 163 type, and from the year 1947.
I have a 47 Delahaye. It looks different than this. Honestly, if this was restored, I'd rather have this one. So are there many of these trucks still existing?
Not so much.
No?
I think less than 10.
Oh, is that right?
Oh, yeah.
So this is a valuable thing.
What is nice is the six-cylinder engine, the same of the Dolly 135, the race car.
So the
It's
car I've
funny.
got has the same engine as this.
Yeah.
Well, I won't tell you how much the engine's worth then. Hey, what do you want for that?
But the engine is very expensive. I understood you want to buy me all my collection.
No, because I heard the way you just laughed.